everyone, I'm Miranda from Miranda May Designs and co-creator at Piglet's Closet. Wanted to hop on quickly today and just give you a quick tutorial on how to mix milk paint. Today we're going to be using the Sweet Pickins Milk Paint brand. When you first get the bags, they have a seal across the top and a little tear tab. My recommendation for these bags is to just use some scissors and cut it straight so you don't damage the Ziploc resealable part of the sack. I also have a little mixing bowl. I prefer to use one that doesn't have any grooves in the bottom so you can really get in there and mix it all. A milk frother and my measuring cups. I have a tablespoon here. I have a quarter cup that I use sometimes, and sometimes you can even use teaspoons. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put your water in your cup or bowl first. So that's really important to help get a thorough mixing and not have any of the milk paint stick to the bottom. So because you do that, the liquid first, then I always wipe off the water so that when I go in, I don't get the rest of my milk paint in my bag wet. Or you can just have a second measuring tablespoon. So the next thing I'm going to do is I just stick it in the bag, and just as I'm baking, I kind of rub it along the edge. And milk paint is very, very forgiving. So I usually start with like a 1-to-1. So I'm gonna stick it in here. So 1 tablespoon of water to 1 tablespoon of milk paint. And then what I will start by doing is just taking this little tool. You can also use a little whisk. I know some people really like to mix with those. For some reason, the shape of this works really well for me. And then I also will use it sometimes electrically, and it mixes pretty well. So it can get a little splashy doing that. But you want to mix your milk paint for 2 minutes about, and I just kind of gauge what it looks like, if there's any lumps, and how it's feeling. And so you just mix it. This is looking really nice. And then sometimes I'll turn it on its side just so that I have more of my milk paint here, and I will just use the little frother softly in here. And you don't want to use it too much because you don't want to make it frothy on the top, but it does really help to get the milk paint mixed. Sometimes it works best with larger quantities. You don't want to mix milk paint in large quantities that you're not going to use. It doesn't save very well, but the good news is it's really easy to mix it, and the color is very consistent, so you can just mix a little bit at a time. So this is a really good consistency. So when it kind of drips off like that, for me, that's what I like to see. It's kind of personal preference. You can also add a little bit more water or add a little bit more powder if you don't think it's the consistency that you like. If it's too watery, it will run down the piece, and if it's too thick, then it's really hard to get it painted on your piece. So you'll kind of be able to gauge between those two things. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and I will see you again soon.